The world of cheese is riddled with tall tales and folklore, and only a handful actually stand up to scrutiny. Curious which claims crumble under pressure like a weak rind? These are a few of the most overhyped cheese myths around. Individually wrapped slices of vivid orange American cheese rarely inspire raves from cheese lovers. Critics point to their rubbery texture, unnaturally long shelf life, almost fluorescent hue, and peculiar melting behavior as reasons to label them not simply as cheese, but as a processed cheese product.
These pasteurized processed cheese food slices can make your basic tuna salad sandwich pretty special.
While American cheese does contain additional ingredients like milk, cream, whey, or emulsifying salts, there's still a case to be made for calling it cheese. Processed cheese actually originated in Switzerland, where leftover scraps were melted together to reduce waste, creating an early cheese-based product. James Kraft refined and patented the method in 1916, bringing it to the US, where it became most widely recognized. Today, processed cheese still starts with real cheese as its base. Not all American cheese is the same, though. The Food and Drug Administration has strict labeling rules that define 4 categories of sliced cheese products. Pasteurized processed cheese has the simplest formula, blending cheese with cream, water, salt, food coloring, spices, and an emulsifier. It's often hailed as the ideal choice for achieving that classic, melty grilled cheese texture. It's easy to think that the luscious spill of a top-tier Brie or Camembert comes from an overload of fat, but that assumption misses the mark. A soft, runny texture isn't the result of extra fat, but of increased moisture. In fact, firmer cheeses like well-aged Cheddar or Parmesan actually contain more fat overall. Cheddar, for instance, usually sits around 35% fat, while Brie comes in closer to 30%. That's why cheeses like Comté and Gruyère melt so smoothly, delivering that rich, silky finish. There is one notable loophole: double and triple cream cheeses. These varieties live up to their names by having cream added during production, giving them an ultra-indulgent feel. Even so, a triple cream Brie still falls short of Cheddar in fat content at about 32%, meaning most of that decadent softness is, surprisingly, just water. One of the hallmarks of a great Cheddar or Parmesan is its bite, often dotted with pleasingly crunchy crystals. They may snap between your teeth like coarse sea salt, but that texture isn't caused by salt itself. Cheese certainly contains plenty of sodium. A typical ounce of Cheddar packs around 190 milligrams, but salt is introduced very early in the cheese-making process. After long periods of aging, there's no way it would still exist as intact, crunchy grains. So what exactly are those tiny crystals you're tasting? That depends on the cheese. In varieties like Cheddar, the crystals are usually calcium lactate, which develops as lactose breaks down and lactic acid forms over time. The acid interacts with calcium naturally present in the cheese, creating calcium lactate that often appears near the surface. These crystals don't add much flavor on their own, but they're a strong indicator that the cheese is highly aromatic and well-matured.
Creamy, salty, sweet, and oaky nuttiness. You detect that?
Oh, I'm detecting nuttiness.
In cheeses like Italian Parmigiano Reggiano, Dutch Gouda, and Swiss-style Gruyère or Comté, those crunchy bits take a different form altogether. Instead of calcium-based crystals, these varieties develop tyrosine, an amino acid that delivers a satisfying snap. Rather than collecting on the rind, tyrosine crystals usually form deeper inside the cheese. Because tyrosine plays a role in the body's production of dopamine, a chemical linked to pleasure, its presence can subtly amplify how enjoyable and flavorful a cheese tastes. Whether it's the snowy exterior of Brie or the signature blue streaks running through Gorgonzola, mold plays a role in many cheeses right from the start.
Take some milk, add a little bacteria, some mold, maybe a few mites.
Cheese is just a means of a controlled spoilage.
What should you do if a piece of cheese in your fridge starts growing unexpected patches of white, blue, red, or black mold? While it's generally unsafe to eat mold that wasn't part of the cheese originally, that doesn't mean you have to throw away the entire wedge. The U.S. Department of Agriculture advises cutting at least an inch around any moldy area on hard cheeses, discarding only the affected portion while keeping the rest. Some experts suggest simply scraping off the mold, though with soft cheeses, it's safer to remove at least a quarter inch around the spot. In any case, white or green mold is usually less concerning than black or gray, which should be fully removed.
Is that goat cheese?
Chèvre. Yes, that is a goat cheese.
Because I have a lactose reflux and I can't.
You're lactose intolerant?
For soft, moist cheeses such as ricotta, cream cheese, or chèvre, it's safest to play it safe and discard the entire container, since mold can spread rapidly in their damp texture. The same rule applies to pre-shredded or pre-grated cheeses, which may harbor unseen mold contamination beyond what you can see. While vegans avoid all animal-based cheeses, some vegetarians may also want to be cautious because of an ingredient called rennet. Rennet contains enzymes that make milk curdle, turning it into cheese. Traditionally, it's taken from the stomach lining of young animals, like calves, lambs, or kids, which must be slaughtered in the process, making the resulting cheese unsuitable for strict vegetarians. Fortunately, alternatives exist. Some cheesemakers use plant-based rennet from sources such as artichokes or thistles. Microbial rennet, produced from molds or yeast, is another option. Advances in biotechnology have also led to fermentation-produced rennet, where bacteria, fungi, or yeast are engineered to create the same enzymes as animal rennet. Additionally, certain lactic fermented cheeses, like some chèvres, are made entirely without rennet. So if avoiding animal rennet is a concern, there are plenty of vegetarian-friendly cheeses to choose from. In both the US and the UK, orange cheese feels completely normal. Just take a wander down the cheese section of any supermarket. Creamy tans mixed with flashes of orange show up in varieties like Cheddar, Red Leicester, Shropshire Blue, and even France's Mimolette. Yet for all its familiar, rusty coloring, orange cheese isn't actually a natural occurrence at all.
All cheddar really is white. All cheese really starts out white.
Turning cheese orange began as a savvy bit of branding in England as early as the 1500s. Milk produced in spring and summer naturally carried a warmer tint thanks to cows grazing on fresh grass, while winter milk was noticeably paler. To make their cheese look richer year-round, clever producers started enhancing its color to boost its appeal. Matters were made worse when some dairies skimmed off the cream to sell separately or churn into butter, stripping even more color from the cheese and increasing the need for artificial tinting. At first, cheesemakers relied on ingredients like turmeric, carrot juice, or saffron to add that signature orange shade. By the 1700s, however, many had switched to annatto from South America, which delivered a golden color without altering the flavor. Annatto remains the source of that familiar orange glow in cheddar today. Parmesan is a pasta night favorite and has long enjoyed its status as Italian cheese royalty. Still, even though it's obvious the green can shaker and the hefty wedge at an upscale grocery store aren't identical, the reality of what Parmesan means is more complicated than most people realize. Parmigiano Reggiano refers specifically to a PDO, or Protected Designation of Origin, cheese produced only in 5 Italian provinces: Parma, Modena, Reggio Emilia, Bologna, and Mantua. Its production is tightly controlled, from the use of raw milk to rigorous inspections that verify the cheese meets precise standards for flavor, aging, and traditional methods tied to authentic Parmigiano craftsmanship. Parmesan, by contrast, isn't a legally protected label. It can be produced virtually anywhere, including the United States, and it's typically far more affordable than genuine Parmigiano Reggiano, which can sell for around $1,000 per wheel. Some American versions, such as Wisconsin's Sartori, are well regarded and have even earned top honors like a gold medal at the 2016 Global Cheese Awards. Others, however, have developed a less flattering reputation, especially pre-grated options that pad their product with additives like cellulose to prevent clumping. Some cheeses, including Comte and Parmesan, have rinds that are far too tough to snack on, though they're excellent for infusing soups and stews with deep, savory flavor. With other cheeses, however, the rind is meant to be eaten and is an essential part of the experience, Brie being a prime example. Brie belongs to the bloomy rind style of cheeses, a group that also features classics like French camembert and American Mount Tam. Its snowy white coating is created by specific molds such as Penicillium candidum or Penicillium camemberti, along with fungi like Geotrichum candidum. While the idea of mold might sound off-putting, these microorganisms are responsible for much of the cheese's character, contributing earthy, mushroom-like notes that define its flavor and aroma.
The white rind on the great soft ripened cheeses like Brie and Camembert? All mold. But go ahead and take a bite.
Brie's rind isn't just safe to eat, it's genuinely tasty. Cutting it off entirely isn't merely unnecessary. In shared company, it can come off as a bit impolite. If the texture isn't your thing, you're not obligated to eat it. But hollowing out the creamy center and abandoning the rind is poor form. The better approach is to take a proper wedge and quietly trim the rind on your own plate, keeping the cheese board neat for everyone else. The notion that cheese causes nightmares is a long-standing myth, often blamed on the bacteria that give cheese its distinctive flavor and aroma. Blue cheese, in particular, has earned a reputation as the culprit behind sour dreams. A 1964 report in the British Medical Journal even seemed to support this idea, based on one man's experience. After eating an ounce or two of cheddar every night, he reportedly suffered intense nightmares. But when he eliminated cheese from his diet, the nightmares disappeared. Modern research, however, offers little evidence for this connection. In fact, a 2020 study in the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health suggests cheese may actually support better sleep. Psychologist and sleep researcher Teresa Schnorbach proposes this could be due to tryptophan, an amino acid that the body converts into melatonin, the hormone that signals it's time to sleep. While late-night snacking in general can disrupt rest, having cheese isn't likely to turn your dreams into horror shows. Raw milk cheeses are common in countries like Switzerland, Italy, and France. But in the US, strict regulations prevent most retailers from selling unpasteurized cheeses that haven't been aged for at least 60 days. Because of this, many Americans assume that raw milk cheeses are inherently unsafe. But that's not the full picture. The majority of cheese available in the US is made from pasteurized milk, which is heated to eliminate potentially harmful bacteria and other pathogens, making it safer for consumption.
Before we knew to heat milk up to kill harmful bacteria, including Salmonella, E. coli, and Listeria, it was dangerous to drink.
The real question, though, is how these harmful bacteria end up in the milk to begin with. In many US factory farms, dairy cows are often kept in crowded or unsanitary conditions, which increases the risk of pathogens and makes pasteurization essential for safety. When raw milk is produced under clean, careful conditions, however, it can be just as safe or even safer than pasteurized milk. Beyond safety, raw milk cheeses preserve all the beneficial microorganisms that reflect their terroir, giving them flavors and complexity that pasteurized varieties simply can't match.